Shh. Be quiet. Don't say that.
What did I say? Chill. Relax. The Impossible Conversation Podcast.
Let's talk. Welcome to the Impossible Conversation. I'm Coach Sarita.
And I'm your Hope to the Mirror.
And on the Impossible Conversation, we shift generations through
Impossible Conversations.
So this is kind of like a little bonus episode for all of our followers and all of our fans and all of our viewers. We just want to say thank you. So in my generation, this would have been called like frequently asked questions, just some little fun facts. But I guess in your generation, it's called a fishbowl.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to be pulling out of the fishbowl and we're going to answer the questions based off of our generation.
Yep.
I don't know what the questions are. I wasn't a part of that part.
Yeah.
So this should be pretty interesting as to see how quickly I can come up with an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get started.
Yes. Who shall go first?
You.
Okay. All right. Music.
Oh boy. Let's see.
So like, who were some hot artists back in the day? What's the difference between music and rap in your day than now? Just all types of stuff like that.
Music in my generation. Okay, so rap was a really big thing. It was really popular. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
All of those guys were like who we listened to, and you knew like verse by verse, line by line.
Mm-hmm.
The music today is extremely different, but I can't say that it's not as different as it was in baby boomers because, of course, for my mom to listen to some music of today and some music of even my day, they would have been like jaw dropped.
Yeah.
But in your generation, I think it's just like a little bit more explicit than it was in my generation. We kind of alluded to what was going on in the bedroom, whereas you guys take us to the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. I was almost positive you were going to say that, and I have to say this just in honor of my millennials. They would love for me to say this.
Oh boy.
Lil Kim was a little explicit.
Now Tiara's over here raising her hand, going crazy.
I would be remiss if I didn't say it. I have to say.
Lil Kim was not that bad. She was not that bad because you guys have the Cardi B and the Megan.
Unfortunately, we cannot repeat any of the lyrics. But if you know, you know. And I know y'all know. But
I digress.
But I will say there are more explicit artists today than there is in your generation. Mm-hmm. We have, like you said, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. The list goes on and on and on. Let me mention some men too. Yeah, let me mention some men too, because I don't want the ladies to be like, "Why you coming down on us?" Who we got, y'all? Who we got? Like, not J. Cole, because he's pretty conscious. Roddy Ricch. Who else we got? Trey Songz. No, he's a singer. Future. We got those. So, I would say our music is more explicit. We have more artists, but y'all had your ones.
It was a needle in a haystack to find somebody that would talk.
Who y'all say? I heard a little.
DMX.
DMX was not raunchy. Where my dogs at? That's all he was wondering. Where was his dogs at? He had a few girls, Keisha, Trina.
Okay.
You would throw your name in. You would throw your name in.
You were like, why didn't you say my name?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That was a little bit tough. That was a tough one. So yeah, the music is definitely ramming up to another level.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me a little bit nervous around my younger children's generation because by then I don't know what the video looked like because you guys are full G-strings.
Yeah, I have to be honest though. Me and my boyfriend had a conversation in the car the other day and we were really trying to pick each other's brain about there's no real R&B artists today that we can name off the dome. I mean, we have, who do we say? Summer Walker. We have Lucky Day. Who? Her, yes, her. We have those, but I swear,
Chris Brown
is not
he's R&B, but he crosses over. Right, he crosses over. Jacquees. Okay, the king of R&B.
Right.
Okay.
No.
So I do have a real love for old R&B.
Like Music Soul Child.
Yes. Jill Scott. Come on.
Bring it.
Anita Baker.
Anita Baker.
Yeah.
I mean, all the legends were in my group.
Yeah,
I mean, we had who was it that I'm thinking of? Alicia Keys. I mean, like, that was all me.
And that's what made us have that conversation, because I was like, man, every R&B artist that I'm like really into their whole catalog is from the past, or you know, a little dated. So I do feel a way about that.
I'm sorry.
I have to be honest.
But at least you can listen to it on Pandora.
Yes, and Spotify, and the list goes on.
All right, I think next. I'm going all the way in, because I don't know how. This bowl was loaded.
I know.
Partying, clubbing, fun, and events.
Okay, so this came from my brain from, what did y'all do for fun? Like, what was your
What does
fun?
that mean?
I know it was house parties. I mean, come on. But
then
what else
like
after
we didn't
that?
have fun.
No,
we went to movies. We went out to eat. We went to clubs.
Y'all went to clubs? Okay, y'all went to clubs.
We went to clubs. It wasn't like, we didn't do anything. Like, you guys have just expanded on a club thing. Like, so you have like day parties and glow parties.
What is the one with the headphones, guys?
Glow
the
party.
silent parties.
Silent party.
I love party. You good.
But we didn't do all that. We just had a party.
Not as innovative.
You went to the party, and that was the party. That was it. We weren't as innovative. We weren't as creative. It wasn't thinking outside of the box. We just kept it traditional.
So like you said, we have day parties. We have pool parties. Did y'all do pool parties? Y'all had pools back in the day, right?
You know what? That's shady.
JK.
Of course we had pools,
right?
But we did not party at the pools with people that didn't live at our houses.
Okay.
That's not how the pool party. You weren't invited to our house to the pool party unless you were coming to the cookout.
I was always interested in this. How does house parties work with parents? Like, did you say, like, can I have a house party this weekend? Okay,
so just to really date myself, my now husband, who we all know if you watch the episodes and listen to The Impossible Conversation. My husband and I have known each other since we were in elementary school, blah, 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 blah. But he was actually the one who had the house parties. So he's been an entrepreneur his whole entire life. So he actually rented the house next door to where he lived. So he would pay the guy money because you didn't want to have it at your house because your parents were coming down the steps. People did do that though.
Okay.
Parents were coming down the steps, they were knocking on the door, they were flickering lights and things, and then it kind of got, uncomfortable. So he was smart enough to say to this guy, okay, I'll pay you $400 for the weekend. So he would have one on Friday and Saturday, pay this guy $400, and there was no real adult supervision.
Nice. Okay, so the guy that he rented the house from, is he an adult or is he like your guy?
He was like adultish.
Okay.
He was adultish. He was an adult by age category, but in mentality, not really, because that $400 a weekend was like popping. Because if you think about it, that was $1,600 in a month.
Right.
So you got $1,600 a month, and that was a roll home. Right.
So what what year?
Right. We're not gonna get this whole kind of year, but it was like
that's a lot of money. $400 a week. We talking just 10 years ago. It was a lot of money.
Yeah. No, we were talking like 92, 3.
Oh yeah, that's good money.
That was good money.
Yeah.
Born yet?
So he
I wasn't even born yet. I wasn't even thought of.
Next question. Who's next? Next question, because you know what?
I'm next. No, we started.
Yeah, I'm 93.
Oh my goodness! This is way too much.
I was 4, but
you were here. Right, present.
So we have a little bit of a traditional one. This came from a little tradition in my mind. Dinner time. Did you guys eat at the table? Were you allowed to eat in front of the TV? Was it strict? Could you eat in your room? I mean, all types of things like that.
Absolutely no eating in your room.
Okay.
There was no meals taken upstairs. So, in my household, growing up, we actually had dinner together just a couple of nights of the week. Sundays you were definitely having dinner at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Now in my household, currently, I'm trying to bring back some of that.
Yeah.
So I have 3 days of the week, we definitely have dinner together. Everybody comes and sits at the table. There's no devices to be brought at the table. And we actually go around and ask each other questions to kind of, drive a conversation outside of how was school today? How was work today?
Okay, well, CS, back in the day, how did your parents role?
We sat down at the table and had dinner together. Not every night. Probably 4 or 5 times of the week we would have dinner together.
So otherwise,
and it wasn't fast food. See, like in my generation, it's fast food. You know, this one may have Chinese, this one may have McDonald's, this one may have Chick-fil-A, but we're doing it all together.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, my mom made dinner and you ate that dinner. It wasn't an option. You didn't get a choice. There was no alternative meal.
Yeah.
We sat at the table and we ate that meal together.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the same for me. My mom cooked every night, but she was not a stickler about eating at the table. A stickler about not eating in the room, though. But just not at the table. We didn't have to. And we didn't, I feel like we were pretty open as a family, you know, to talk. We didn't really need to have discussions that we needed to sit around the table as I'm really vocal, obviously.
You're very
you know, I'll talk about anything at any time.
And I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, no secrets here. So I don't think we really had a problem with communication. And devices weren't around yet.
They weren't a thing.
So it wasn't like I was distracted or my sister was distracted by that. However, about the situation of some people eat this and some people eat that, that's probably a little tiff that my mom and dad would have, because she's like, if she doesn't want it, she can eat whatever she wants. You know, we can go get it, or she'll take me to Wendy's or whatever. But my dad is like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. He was like, on your parents' time. Like, no, if I made this food, if you made this food, they're going to eat this food. Yeah. Okay? And another thing that I know a lot of people in my generation, some people, you know, feel one way, some people other. I was allowed to drink while I ate my food.
I heard that was a big thing.
Yeah, like, okay, so it's confusing. No, not liquor. Iced tea, water. Okay, iced tea, water. A beverage. Yeah, now
a beverage. I eat my food too. I didn't have to eat and then drink my food.
Right. Yeah, I know some people were like that, but no.
Like my grandma on my father's side was a lot. My grandmother on my father's side was a lot more strict. So she didn't allow that, but my grandmother on my mother's side and my mother was like, if you thirsty, you can have something to drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
you gotta wash your food down.
So what about you? You can drink?
We drink.
Okay.
We drink, yeah.
Okay.
We drink as long as we want to, as much as we want to.
Okay.
But you're going to eat that same meal.
Food.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right, let's see what we have next here. Grape 2. Marriage.
Ooh. So, I want to do a little background on where this came from. So, what did you see growing up in marriage, and what did you feel like, you know, from those examples that you had?
I didn't know there was anything different.
Okay.
My mother and father's parents were both married. So I had both sets of grandparents. My mother and father were married. So as far as me growing up, all I saw was marriage. I didn't recognize that there could be anything different than that. I really wasn't even aware of single parenthood because, like I mentioned in another episode, growing up in a neighborhood, I felt like everybody was the same. I didn't recognize that there was differences. If your father wasn't there when I went to your house, I just assumed he was at work. I never assumed that he didn't actually live in a house with you or that you didn't have a relationship with him. And I think being the person who may have had their alternative household, they weren't going to share that information with me, that, you know, my dad doesn't live with me. So growing up, I saw marriage as the only way.
Yeah. Same. My parents are married. My grandparents are married. And my aunts are married. I have a plethora of examples of marriage. But I think I was aware that wasn't everybody's situation because I've always been the same girl all my life. People just would tell me what was going on. So I had a lot of friends who were adopted, who just really had non-traditional situations. Right. So I was aware that there was a difference. And from seeing my parents' marriage, it does excite me for marriage one day. So yeah.
Good.
Not too much to say on that one. Okay, television. What were the hot shows? How much time were you allotted to? Was it like strict? I know your favorite reality show, but I wanted you to talk because I was like, were reality shows in existence? And then I remembered yours, and I said, okay, let's talk about this.
My favorite reality show was,
please say it,
Nick and Jessica's. What did you think it was? The Real House. Real World. It was one of my favorites. Okay, it was one of my favorites.
Yes, I had to tell my kids.
So
Real World. That's where Tammy was born.
That's where Tammy Bowman came from. Before she got the bond in her hand, Bond Chronicles, the Basketball Wives, She was on The Freaking Real World.
Yeah.
And I never forget because her and her mother had a really unique relationship. And she got pregnant when she was young and on the show, and she had an abortion while she was on the show. And that was
heavy.
Like, in my day, that was like, what? What is that? What did she do? Where's the baby? She's not having the baby? Where'd the baby go? So that was like a whole thing. That was one of my favorites. But my other favorite was, what was Nick and Jessica's show called? You know, Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah.
I love that show. What was it called? We just talked about that. That's so weird. What is it
Jessica
Simpson and Nick Lachey?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
We'll have somebody look it up real quick. We'll have somebody look it up real quick.
So that was good, but then like when I was little, it was the Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah.
And it was 227.
Okay.
Newlyweds.
What is it called?
Newlyweds.
Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson.
3 seasons, 2003.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right.
That's about when
Say
it was
that
a
a little lower.
That's about right. Yeah, that one. But 227 was another good one that I used to love.
What was that about?
You don't know 227?
I've never even heard of it.
Regina King came from that show. She was a little girl. She lived with her mom and her dad. What's the other lady's name? Jack A.
Oh, I love Jack A. Okay.
Jack A was on the show. She
As
was
far
a
as I know,
neighbor.
Jack A was born on Sister for the
She wasn't.
millennials.
She wasn't. Okay. She did work before that. Okay. So she worked on 227. That was a really good one. Like I said, the Brady Bunch was a mainstay growing up.
Yeah.
That's
really it.
I mean, we only had like 10 channels.
Yeah.
So, you know, you guys have hundreds of channels.
And
then you have streaming services, and we didn't have that many options. So, you know, you kind of picked from 3, 6, 10, 12, 17, and then we got 57.
Yeah.
And that was a wrap. If you couldn't find something there, you going outside to play.
And my sister's a little bit older than me, 7 years. So I was into some of the things that were a little ahead of my generation. So I definitely like Brady Bunch. She was a stickler for Brady Bunch. I don't know if all our millennials remember Laguna Beach, The Hills. I mean, come on. That was like prime reality TV.
It's
not
far off, though. People say Laguna Beach is far from 902.
No, but I'm just saying I never even seen it. I've heard of it, but I never seen it. I've heard of it, I never seen it.
It was honestly okay. Well, that's what we watched.
90210 is like a Laguna Beach.
Okay. Okay. It's scripted? Is it scripted?
It's scripted. Laguna Beach supposed to be more reality.
Okay. Oh no, this is scripted. Yeah. It's completely scripted. They lived in Beverly Hills. You know, was kind of the intro into
our fascination with that show, The Hills. I mean, we loved that show. We were like, oh my god, these girls are living the life so young, like 20 and 23, having your own house and having your own bins and everything like that. Like me and my sister were mesmerized. My mom was like, oh my god, y'all love this show. But yeah, that was one of our favorites.
No, we didn't have that.
We liked, of course, Martin. We shared that, right? That. Okay, Martin, and Living Color.
Yeah.
I like that show.
The Color was good.
Yeah, I like that show. So that's really it. I mean, today and now, you know it's hot. Love and hip hop, basketball.
I ain't got no cartoons.
That's actually interesting for your generation. What cartoons are you watching? I mean, you know we got SpongeBob,
Jetsons, and it's funny because all the stuff that's going on in life right now is like Jetsons stuff to us. Like we looked at the Jetsons, like oh my god,
future was
futuristic, But now it's really coming to reality. But we watched the Jetsons, we watched the Flintstones, we watched Tom and Jerry. We watched I don't know what else.
Okay, we can go next. That was a good one. Okay. Was I next or were you next? Okay. Hair. So I know about the stacks. Okay, the stacks. I know about the stacks. What else y'all got? Not the bang. Okay.
All right. So hair. As far as hair, oh my god, you guys have it so much better than we did. I mean, it's so much easier. Yeah. Hair for us was like a real thing. So for example, like you said, the stacks. Then we had the spray dye.
We had that.
You use it? I never seen it.
No, I don't use it because I don't need it.
Well, we did. We used the spray dye. And we would actually layer our stacks in different colors.
Oh, okay.
That's when we got real fly.
So, like, what kind of colors were you mixing up?
Like the blondes and like a cinnamon brown.
Okay, like now.
Like 33, 27.
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
30, so we would spray those, and then we had, of course, braids came out. But the ease of all the hairstyles that you guys have now, because we would never wear wigs in my generation. Like if you wore wigs, you had like alopecia or some type of a disorder that wouldn't allow your hair to grow. We did have weaves, we did have waves. Of course, waves are back now. It feels like all the hairstyles are back. But I know wigs were a no-go for us.
Whereas we is like, don't snatch my wig. We screaming it out, okay? Don't snatch my wig. Okay, we have no problem with that. But I do have to say, no shade.
Let's hear.
Your wigs was a little bit different than ours.
They were.
They didn't lay as flat.
No.
You know, you could not tell where the part was separating from. It was just different. I wouldn't want to scream that out off the rooftops either.
Right. And there was combs in it and bands and all kinds of
doing a lot.
different anchors to keep it intact. Whereas now the units, you don't have to do any of that. It's like snatch and go.
Yeah.
So it was a lot different.
Frontals and closures and what is it called? Natural ponytails. The baby hairs. Oh, that's huge to me. If you know me, you know I'm like, I'm not leaving nowhere without my baby hairs done. Okay, I think I seen a post where somebody just was like, okay, so y'all female just gonna sprinkle baby hairs on y'all edges like parsley at the end of a meal. And that's exactly what it is. Right. I'm gonna get the edges together.
And you use all kinds of edge control until you figure out which one has the best hold.
Okay, I will test them all.
And which one does not turn colors.
Yep, because that white flakiness, that ain't it.
That ain't hot.
That ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, hair has definitely come a long way. I mean, all we had was like perms, and perms were so
and that's so dated now. We don't even need them because we have so many options.
Yeah,
you know, you don't even need it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh, this is a good one. Parenting.
Yeah.
How
has it changed from your generation to mine?
It changed a lot. It's changed a great deal, and I see it in my house because I have a multi-generational home. So I see how my mother looks at my children when I allow my children to do certain things that she would have never allowed me to do. And I kind of understand from both sides of it in that way. So my mom, you know, it was no bouncing on the couch. It was no laying around in your pajamas all day. Definitely wouldn't have been any devices all day because she didn't allow us to watch TV but for so many hours of the day. Whereas in my house, you know, it's the weekend. You don't feel like getting dressed. It's okay. You can keep your pajamas on. Yeah. She doesn't go for that. I mean, her motto is anything can happen. Somebody can come over. You need to be dressed. We may need to go out. You need to have clothes on. Let's get dressed. Yeah. So my kids actually get stressed out about the fact that the clothes are not on when they should be on. And I tried to say, Mom, it's okay, it's the weekend, you know, but she's set in her way. Then, as far as jumping on the couches are concerned, I understand, or like on the bed. I understand growing up, my mom didn't let me jump on the bed. And I know why. It makes the bed springs creak. And, you know, I get all the... But I also get the kid that you just want to jump on a freaking bed. Yes, it's fun. It's like a fake trampoline. Yeah. So, you know, I allow my kids to jump on a bed more than she probably would want them to. Yeah. But, you know, it's just a difference in generations.
Yeah, it was the same for me with my grandma growing up. I lived with her for, you know, majority of my time in elementary school. So she was really strict. Like, we had a cleaning day where it was like, okay, you know, on Sundays, you come down, you will wake up to the smell of Fabuloso, okay? Bleach and Fabuloso. Yeah. I would be like, okay, we're cleaning today. Yeah. All right, so I would just come downstairs and grab a rag because let you sit down. She looking like, oh, you want to leave or something? You want to get out of here? Because, you know, we clean on Sundays. So that was a thing. And what else when I was younger? No jumping on the beds or couches as well. I think couch is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think couch is ridiculous.
Couch is a little ridiculous. Like, why are you jumping on the couch? Yeah, that's doing a lot.
I mean, they do try it, but, you know, we shut that down pretty quick. But bed's okay for me.
Something that was different, I would say, between my parents and when I lived with my grandparents is I started with my parents, then I went with my grandparents for a little while. So it was a change in vocalism. Is that a word?
You just made it today.
Okay. It was a change in vocalism.
Okay.
And my parents were like more because I said so type of parents. I ain't got to give you no explanation.
No reason.
You ain't need to know why.
Never.
Just do what I said.
That's the thing.
Whereas my grandma would be like, well, let's talk about this. Or she would explain to me why she wanted me to do something. So I think when I become a parent, I will adopt that same mindset. Is letting them be vocal about, you know, how they feel about what I'm telling. Ask questions. Yeah.
Because she was the grandparent.
Right. My mom is saying off. My mom is saying off mic. That's because she's the grandparent. You know, grandparents are let you relax.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed.
So yeah, that's
where I got it from.
Yeah, when
she was strict, you figured that's the way you were supposed to be. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, I think that's only the one thing I would change with my parents. I think my parents and my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, everybody did a phenomenal job. Yeah. But that one thing I would change, I would just open communication up more for between me and the child.
Right. And I mean that's a good thing because you want to tap into where they are because especially with all the stuff that's going on right now, like I'm constantly trying to poke and pry, and that's kind of how we have the table talk with the kids because I want to get to the deeper questions other than the surface stuff of how school, because you're going to get that traditional answer. Yeah. But I need to know a little bit further around, what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite YouTuber?
Why is she your friend? What do you like about her?
Exactly.
Exactly. I like that.
All right, so we're going to do 2 more questions. Let's make them good.
If it's not good, you can just switch.
Did you have something special about that?
Nah, it's not that good. Not that one.
Oh, working out and fitness.
Yes, this is the one I'm excited about.
It really wasn't.
How did y'all keep them bomb bodies, okay?
We just ate different. Like, you guys' food is, really, I always have been just an eater of whatever I wanted to eat. Yeah. But your food is injected with so many hormones and steroids and processed and fake and,
preservatives.
Till you don't have an opportunity to not work out.
Right.
Working out you have to do. So for us, it wasn't a thing because we didn't have those food groups that you guys have. We didn't allow fast food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like fast food was a luxury.
Right.
You might have had fast food on the weekend, one day of the weekend, whereas now people are 5 days fast. Like you're literally there. I just heard a drive-through statistic that the drive-through wait time is now 6 minutes, which is up 30 seconds from a year ago. It's like
6 minutes.
You
it's like 12 to 15.
Whoa,
it's ridiculous. It's crazy. You'll be like, well, damn, do anybody?
Is it fast? Is it fast?
Is it even fast? Yes, that's so true. And I mean, today for us, it's a major change. Like not being able to think about working out. Okay, the girls are wearing waist trainers. Yeah. They have trainers.
None of that.
They're putting up their workout videos. Okay, they're getting BBLs and Lipo 360. All in this really young age.
Nope.
I mean, I never really wanted to go that route. I'd rather do the hard work because I think for myself it would just be like a little cheating. I would be like, girl, you can work out. Stop being lazy. And the discipline of it is good. But that's a big difference. And I did hear, I was just listening to something the other day, I forgot what I was listening to. They were saying like in your guys' generation, like Spanx and things like that were like something that was hidden and under your clothes and things like that. Whereas now we're like wearing our waist trainer over our clothes. Like you gonna know I'm wearing my waist trainer. You gonna know where I got it from. You gonna know that it comes in 50 million colors and you matching it with your outfit. It's like a thing.
And that is true. Because Spanx did come out in my generation, and that was like a big thing because she came on Oprah and she was saying, because Oprah used to say how she would take her pantyhose and cut it at the knees to get that control to hold you. But that was a big thing for her to even talk about because no one would have ever talked about an undergarment in the public. Yeah. So Spanx was the introduction into like undergarments as far as trying to keep tight and control. But as far as eating was concerned, I think it was just a difference in our food choices that didn't allow us to have to do all the extra
because
stuff.
if you're injecting the animals to make them bigger to create more product, what is it doing to us when we eat? Them. Yeah. Like we have diet teas and like we have so much these days. So much concern in regard for our weight and our health. Which
we had like 2 things. It was like regular Pepsi or diet Pepsi. Like that like that was it. It was like okay.
Not zero and
not zero, no, none of that was a thing. Yeah. None of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, let's make this one good.
Let's do it. Moving out. Because for me, let's see how I'm gonna put this. For me, my mom was like, hearkening her ear, like what are you about to say? Okay, so listen, for me, I'm gonna be honest. I would have never moved out. Let's be honest. I would have never moved out. I am very familial. I am very connected. I am a codependent type of person. I like a village. I like a clan. Like let's stay together.
Right.
But my mom wasn't really having it. And it's funny because my mom is the same way like me. You know, she likes a company of other people. She doesn't mind, you know, never being alone. That's not a problem for us. But she was surprisingly serious about me moving out. Like, she was like, you know, I think it was a situation where it was between my car and moving out. And I said, well, Mom, I don't think I can afford these. I was talking to her and my dad. I said, I don't think I can afford both. So my dad's like, well, you're going to have to choose. You need the car to get to work, so you're staying home. My mom's like, nah, she going to figure it out. Okay,
right.
She going to figure it out. She going to budget her money. She going to get herself together financially, and she's doing both. And I did both. So, you know, that I do thank her for pushing me out of the house, because in the moment, I mean, if you can ask my boyfriend, like the first month in the apartment, I was so uncomfortable. Like, I was like, I can't be here. Like, where's my mom? I need to go downstairs and talk to her about things. Like, it just was so different for me. But, you know, moving forward, I just seen how necessary it was for the trajectory of me turning into an adult. Yes. I mean, I'll share this real quick because this meant a lot to me. I had the opportunity to go to Puerto Rico just 2 weeks ago. I was so excited, and then money got funny, as it does. Mm-hmm. So I had to choose, which it really wasn't a choice, pay rent or get on the plane and go to Puerto Rico. So I was going to have a roof over my head, okay? So I chose my rent. So I was so hurt about it. I was heartbroken, and my mom had called me, and she was like, Mary, you know, what are you doing? And I just was lackluster. You know, I'm really like, you know, as a person, my personality is really, big. You know, big. And she just was like, well, what's wrong with you? And I was like, nothing. And in that moment, I was like, I wanted to tell her so bad, because I know she would have been like, I'll pay for it. You just go. Like, you just go. But I was like, come on, we're adults now. How do you look? You know, I can ask you, you know, for help with necessities and responsibilities. And but how do I? Yeah, how can I ask her for money for something fun? Like, it just didn't feel right in my spirit. So I said, I'm not going to do it. I said, nothing's wrong, Mom. I'm good. You know, I'm just having a day. It's fine. And she knew. She called me a week later, and she said, you know what, Mira, I'm so proud of you. And I said, well, where did that come from?
Right.
And she said, you know, because by this time I'm over it.
Right.
So she's like, you know, I know you were so hurt about not being able to go on a trip. I know you really wanted to, but it was so adult of you and so mature of you to just suck it up, take the L, and, you know, move past it. You chose to pay your rent, and that's what you should have did, and I'm proud of you for not being a baby about it. Yes. So I was just like, wow, that makes sense. And that meant more to me than I think the trip would have. It would. Her acknowledging my growth and my maturity.
Every child, no matter what age you are, you want your parents' approval. Yeah. It doesn't matter what age you are. Yeah. We are all our 8-year-old selves looking for that good job, well done, that you want to hear from your parent. Yeah. So that makes perfectly good sense. And as far as me moving out wasn't a problem, because I actually went to college. Right out of high school. Right. So, you know, that transition was an easier transition for me. Right. Because it was like, okay, you know, I move out, I go to college. But I did go back home after college until, you know, I figured it out, because I didn't want to move into an apartment. I wanted to move into a house. So that took me saving up, you know, a lot of money to have a down payment to move into a house. Yeah. But it really wasn't difficult at all.
And that makes sense, because I didn't go to college on campus anyway. I didn't do the whole experience of it all. And that was another problem. I think that was really important for her to push me out, because would I have ever left? I was already so terrified to go to school. I was just afraid to be away from her and the family. I think that by her pushing me out, that was like that first time of like, you know, you just have to flap your wings. So, yes.
Mom, dude.
Yes, thank you, Mom.
Yes. Sometimes you gotta push them out.
Yes, thank you. Right, she had to drag me out. By my wig. By my wig.
Oh my God. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Impossible Conversation with Coach Sarita.
And your hope dealer, Mira.
And as you know, on The Impossible Conversation, we shift generations through impossible conversations. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tune in next week. And if you're interested in donating, we love our donors. We appreciate you all, because you know this takes a lot to get a production done. But we do it for you guys every week, because we know you're learning from it. So thank you again, and continue to tune in. See you later.
See you guys.
Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Coach Sarita.
And me on Instagram at AmiraHester_. And check us both out on Instagram and YouTube at The Impossible Conversation. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys there.